Peace and blessings, everyone. Is your favorite truth seeker and teller. And today, along with my normal men's mental health discussion, I want to really take the focus off men and put it on our boys because our boys are really what's suffering right now the most, and they are the most silent, even more so than the men. Um, I worked with children for the past 26 years in various different capacities, from juvenile detention to intensive in-home counselor to a school teacher. While I've had some experience with girls working a little bit in juvenile detention and more so in teaching, my most focus has always been on the boys. And what I'm noticing with our boys today that I work with is that none of them know how to communicate. None of them. And this includes my daughter's little brother. I've discussed before. I spent a lot of time with him. And I spent a lot of time with my boys, period, just trying to get them to discuss things that are on their mind or express their feelings, and they just won't do it. They just won't do it. And I don't understand um, why it's that way. I do have an ideal, but it's not concrete in understanding why these boys are this way. Um, when it comes to talking about past traumas, what may be bothering them about their everyday social life or even home life, they just shut down. And this is a universal with all the boys I've been working with, really basically since COVID. It's like they won't talk. Um, I had one boy I worked with that had a family tragedy that affected their family entire, really, really hard. And I'll be working with him and his family, and when it comes time for him to speak, he'll just shut down. Now, more so one on one, I'm able to get them express themselves a lot better, but it takes some doing. It won't just be like, okay, this is what I experienced, this is what I'm feeling. How do I get through this situation? They just won't talk, and it's kind of it's detrimental to them because it seems first and foremost that they don't have the personable skills to be able to express themselves. Whereas when I was coming up, the thing was that we never stayed inside. We were always outside, just interacting with each other. And if we wanted to enjoy ourselves, we had to speak. Now they're just picking up electronic, and that is their social interaction. What they may be doing on the video game, or whoever they may be going back and forth with on social media, so on and so forth. But they don't have the skills to interact with each other in person. I was dealing with one of my young boys the other day, and I was telling him, how important it is for him to, he just moved, and I was telling him how important it is for him to, get out the house and make friends. And then he says to me, I saw some kids my age the other day, and I asked him if he talked to him, and he said, no, he didn't. I said, why not? He said, because I don't know them. And I asked him, I said, well, how did you get to know anybody? You didn't know everybody at some point in time. So you had to, go out and meet them at some point in time. You need to put these skills to use. And these boys just do not know how to do it. I have an idea that the girls are the same way, because a lot of times I'll go to like Walmart and stuff like that, like the cashiers in the line, and I'll try to talk to them, be my normal self, and they don't talk. They don't say anything. And I'm thinking that as this generation becomes older, and they are the ones that are going to be, the ones that take over society, we're going to have a serious problem because they don't know how to communicate with each other. They don't know how to socialize with each other, and it's causing mental health problems. They think that texting is how you're supposed to communicate. and it's an issue. And I would say out here, mothers, well, and even fathers, because I know there's a lot of fathers doing this too. Don't just allow your child to sit in the house and play on their tablet or their phone or the Xbox and PlayStation all day. Make them go out and experience life, because I know we want to be protective over our children, because society is a lot different now than it was when we were coming up. But these kids need to understand how to have social interaction, how to build skills, how to problem solve, how to recognize who are people they should be around and who are people they should not be around, the situations that are no good for them and the situations that are good for them, the areas that are no good for them and the areas that are okay for them to be at. Because this is not something they're going to learn just something when they turn 18 and they're no longer under your thumb or tutelage. This is something that they need to learn on their own. These are things that they cannot learn by sitting in the house. And so what happens is these kids get let out into the world, and then you have what you have with these kids today that's going on, with the shooting and the fighting and the maladjusted behaviors, the antisocial personality disorders. That is a direct result of these kids not being socialized. These kids, it's almost like when we played video games when we were kids, we understood it was a video game because we could separate the video game from the real life. These kids are not able to do that, because to them, be playing these games where they're doing all this, violent things and violent stuff. It's real life to them. It's real life to them. And I'm talking to these kids, and a lot of them are like, I'm asking them about, the violence and the things that's going on. They're like, many of these kids are looking and seeing the news and finding out how much time people are getting for murders and for shootings and for different criminal acts, and they're calculating their age versus how much time that person gets, and they're like, oh yeah, I could do this. I think I could do this. I could do this because I'm only 17, 16. By the time I get home, I'll be 35, 40. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. And it's a mental health problem. It's a serious mental health problem. We have to engage with our children and our boys, especially because our boys are coming from a place to where, from where, the youth already do not know how to communicate. And then boys are being taught like men to suck it up. And they're absolutely suffering. They're 100% suffering. And like I said, it's been across several boys I've noticed that none of them communicate. None of them, they would rather shut down and not say or express what's on their mind because they do not have the tools to do so. And tools like that are forged through trial and error. Don't send them, don't let them go through 13 years of school and then send them off to college around a bunch of wolves. Because don't think they're not wolves in college, because they 100% are. I used to see kids, back when I was in college, they would come into school and you would know, the ones that were green and never knew or had never experienced their parents that let them off the porch. You would know. And then this was when it becomes more dangerous for the females. Because I can remember females that parents didn't let them out the house, kept them sheltered from the rest of the world. The next thing you know, they're sending them 300, 400, 500 miles from home to college, and the wolves get a hold of them. And before you know it, they're turned out. And I'm not saying this to be funny. I'm telling you what real life experience is, what I've seen. And I there's one girl I really wonder. I was like sad for her because I didn't know where her life was going to go after that. She really, really went through some trauma. So I think that with our children and our boys, that communication is something that we need to stress with them. We need to take time daily, if it's just 5-10 minutes, talking with them about their day, what they learned in school, any situation they may have had with girls or the opposite sex, how they feel about, whatever it may be, just so it's communication. Communication. because these electronics are not doing them any favors. They're not doing them any favors. And I want you to take notice also. If you notice that your child can't focus on something for a long period of time, like for example, one boy I deal with, he will play video games, right? And like how we play video games, because I play games. I'm sitting at home all the time. I need something to do, so I play video games. So when we play video games, we will stick with a game. We can play that game 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes. You know, he'll play a video game. He might play for 5 minutes. He's on to the next, on to the next, on to the next. That is an outgrowth from these videos they're watching on YouTube and social media. A lot of these videos are 10 seconds to 30 seconds long, which is dictating to them what their attention span is. So we have to understand the hold that these things have over our children and take corrective measures, especially with our boys, because I fear for the future. I really, really do fear for the future. And if you found any value in this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And please don't hesitate to drop a line and reach out to me so maybe we could do some discussions together. I look forward to making more videos in the future. I leave you with peace and love. It's wise.